If you're trying to decide between Vidanta Nuevo Vallarta and Vidanta Riviera Maya, I'm going to make this easier for you. They are both terrific resorts, and we've stayed at both many times, but they are not the same vacation. The real question isn't which one is better, it's which one is better for me. And there are some pretty clear differences. First, getting there. Let's just start with geography. Riviera Maya is on the Caribbean side of Mexico, south of Cancun. Nuevo Vallarta is on the Pacific side, just north of Puerto Vallarta. By the way, Vidanta now generally calls the destination Nuevo Nayarit, although a lot of us still know it as Nuevo Vallarta. If you live on the East Coast, Cancun usually has the advantage. There's lots of non-stop flights, and Riviera Maya is an easy Caribbean destination. If you're on the West Coast, Puerto Vallarta usually makes more sense. You're basically heading straight down the Pacific coast. But for those of us in the Midwest, we're actually spoiled. Both are pretty easy to reach, although Cancun probably has a slight edge in non-stop flights. So airfare may actually make the decision for you. But if it doesn't, here's where it gets more interesting. What, if any, off-resort activities do you want? The off-resort experiences are very different. If you are fascinated by Mayan history, Riviera Maya wins easily. You're surrounded by ancient Mayan sites, including Chichen Itza, Tulum, and several others. The Caribbean is also better for snorkeling. You can swim with turtles around Akumal, explore cenotes, and enjoy the reef off nearby Puerto Morelos. Playa del Carmen is fun for wandering, eating, shopping, and people watching, and of course Cancun is there if you want even more restaurants, shopping, and nightlife. The beach itself is the classic Caribbean look, white sand and beautiful blue water. The Pacific side, with Nuevo Vallarta, has a completely different personality. Puerto Vallarta sits on Banderas Bay with the Sierra Madre Mountains rising behind it, so you get mountains and ocean together. The sand isn't that powdery Caribbean white, it's darker and coarser. But I actually love the scenery. The mountains give you great zipline and ATV excursions, and during the winter, Banderas Bay becomes one of the great places to see humpback whales and their calves. And then there's Puerto Vallarta itself. Old Town is one of my favorite places to simply wander around, eat, have a drink, and experience Mexico. And if you're interested in tequila, well, you're in Jalisco, the state of Jalisco, the only place where it's made. Let's just say finding tequila tasting is not difficult. So, off-resort, I'd simplify it this way. Ruins, cenotes, and snorkeling, Riviera Maya. Mountains, whales, Old Town, and tequila, Puerto Vallarta. Now let's compare the actual resorts. This is probably the most important part for many people who spend most of their week at Vidanta. So Vidanta Riviera Maya feels more compact and more jungle-like. There are more than a dozen pools, roughly 15 plus restaurants and bars, so you're certainly not going to run out of great places to eat. One of the biggest reasons to choose Riviera Maya is Cirque du Soleil, the Joya, or the Hoya, I should pronounce it. We've seen it, and I strongly recommend the dinner experience as well. For us, the dinner was part of what made the whole evening special. And right next door is Nectar, which is a great place for creative cocktails. You also have Hungala Aqua Experience, which is much more than a hotel water park. It's a huge lazy river, wave pool, water attractions, giant slides, cabanas, and more upscale water park atmosphere. Another Riviera Maya advantage is the Beach Club for Grand Lux and Grand Bliss guests. It's a much quieter, more upscale pool and beach experience. One caution about the actual ocean. The beach is beautiful, great for walking, but swimming directly in front of the resort isn't its strongest feature because of the reef and rocky bottom. For golfers, Riviera Maya has Jack Nicklaus designed 18-hole par 3 executive course. It's fun and surprisingly challenging, but if golf is a major part of your vacation, Keep listening, because now we're going to talk about Vidanta and Nuevo Vallarta. Nuevo Vallarta is bigger, more spread out, and in my opinion offers more variety if you're planning to spend most of your vacation on the resort. Vidanta currently lists more than 25 restaurants, multiple pool complexes, nightly entertainment at Sanctuario, 2 spas, and 3 golf courses. For families, the Grand Mayan Pool and Water Park area are hard to beat. There's a huge lazy river, slides, lots of activity, and plenty going on during the day. If you'd rather have quiet, the Lux areas give you several completely different pool experiences, and unlike Riviera Maya, I think Nuevo Vallarta has the advantage if you simply want to walk the beach and swim in the ocean. Nuevo Vallarta is also the clear winner for golfers. You currently have the 18-hole Nayar course, the 18-hole Vidanta Vallarta course designed by Greg Norman, and the lighted 10-hole par 3 Lakes course. There's also something new that changes this comparison a bit. For years, Riviera Maya had the big Cirque du Soleil advantage because of Hoya. Now, Nuevo Vallarta has Ludo, Vidanta's new water-themed Cirque du Soleil production at Vidanta World. So Cirque is no longer a reason by itself to automatically choose Riviera Maya. Which one would I choose? Here's where I think the decision gets fairly simple. Choose Riviera Maya if you want to explore Mayan ruins and cenotes, snorkeling in Caribbean water matter to you, you really want to see Hoya, you like the jungle atmosphere and slightly more compact resort. Or Cancun is simply much easier for you to fly into. Choose Nuevo Vallarta if you expect to spend most of your week on the resort, you want the biggest variety of pools and resort areas, you have kids who will live in the Grand Mayan Water Park, golf is important, you want easy ocean swimming, or you enjoy Puerto Vallarta, whale watching, mountains, and exploring real Mexican City. Okay, it's time for John's honest advice. Personally, I prefer Nuevo Vallarta if I'm primarily taking a Vidanta vacation. There's simply more space, more variety, more pools, more to explore without ever leaving the resort. And I always spend time in Old Town Puerto Vallarta. But if I were building a vacation around Mayan ruins, snorkeling, cenotes, Caribbean water, then I'd choose Riviera Maya. I wouldn't hesitate for a second either way. So you might guess my final answer. It depends. But that's actually good news. These aren't 2 versions of the same vacation. They're 2 very different vacations. So my real recommendation, do what we do. Try one this winter and the other one next winter.